Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Civil Gore Podcast. I'm your host, Tim.
And this is Brian.
And we are back with our August Discmemberment. And we had threatened to change things up a little bit, which we did. I would say it's not a change so much as it's a tweak. And what we decided to do is because, and this is kind of behind the scenes stuff here, but you know, Brian and I have to record these Discmemberments sometimes at odd times because we have to get them out by the first of the month. Or the, whatever that Tuesday is, typically when the new releases land. And we found that, you know, some months you might have 20 titles to talk about, and some months you might have 45 titles to talk about. And sometimes, you know, as you guys know, in the past, we've had to split the episode into two. It was getting a little, as board gamers call it, when they say a game is swingy, it means that it's sometimes you win really easily, and sometimes it's almost impossible to win. And there's like this swinginess in the luck and the randomness. And that's what I feel with these Discmemberments, that they were just too swingy. Sometimes they were huge and massive. Sometimes they were small. Sometimes they had like a lot of great titles. Sometimes they had no great titles. And this was a way for us to try to change the format just slightly enough to make things more interesting, because it gets boring, I know, for you guys to listen to us just read off facts. And it gets boring for us to do the reading. So what I decided to do was look at the month overall, look at each week, and pick out the titles that we think are interesting, that we think are worth your time and would be worth a purchase. And we're still going to tell you what other titles were released over the month, but those might be the ones that we didn't feel really needed a full deep dive in terms of, we're going to read you the synopsis, we're going to read you every extra, we're going to read you every single, the publisher, the studio, everything. Those titles, we're still going to tell you that they're out there, but we're really going to have a deeper focus on the ones that we think are actually worth your time. There's a vinyl record YouTuber that I watch a lot, and I kind of stole this idea from him, but he has to do it out of necessity, because there's usually 400 to 500 vinyl albums released per week. And obviously he can't cover all of them. So he always picks like 10 or 12 that he highlights every week to talk about. So I thought, you know, this is kind of the same thing we're doing here on a smaller scale. We're taking like this batch of 35 titles and maybe boiling it down to, 15 or so that we think are worth your time. So we're going to see how it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. If it works, it works. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Cody will let us know.
Yeah, Cody will definitely let us know. Yeah, and in some ways, it's like you're not losing information per se. You're basically going to get the same things that we've always done with the Dismemberment. We've already made a pact that anything with a film historian is going to get on there, of course. Yes. We're not taking that away. That's our bread and butter with this one. But also, it's like, why, these ones we read with no features and stuff, all you need to know is the title, most of these, and it's like, at that point you can look it up if you really want to get like the nitty gritty of these things. But like this week, the last week had like 20 something titles, and I could just imagine by that point Tim and I will be like exhausted just going through all these things. Yeah. So I like the change in it. We might even like tighten it up a little more. This is going to be a first attempt at this way. But I think it'll work out better. These shorter episodes, and it'll give us more fun, the other contents and stuff. We'll bring. So and eventually, especially if we go, I think this way will work better when we do eventually do that format we want with the video format where go over the trailers and stuff. It'll give more time for that. We wouldn't have had that kind of time if we went through the mundane titles, especially when we see those ones like Cat O' Nine Tails that gets released once every 4 months. Yeah.
I haven't seen old Cat O' Nine Tails in a long time, though.
I know. They must have finally just retired it. But
oh, man. All right. So we'll see how this goes. So we are going to talk about the releases for August 6th. And there was only one release, legitimately only one release this week. And it was a Kino Lorber double feature called Peril and Distress. And the two titles included in this double set are And Soon the Darkness and Sudden Terror. Both of those films are from 1970. they're both highly regarded British thrillers. I'll have to take their word for it. I haven't seen either of these movies, but the trailers look pretty cool. I mean, I like the trailers, and they have
Yeah,
a few
and it had
special.
like Oliver was in it. Mark Lester was in the sudden
Yeah,
terror one,
yeah.
and they
Oh
keep
yeah, you're
freezing
right.
on his face. But I don't think he's not going to go up and say, "Please, sir, I want some more." In this movie,
That first trailer was weird because it was like take Mark Lester, take Catherine Smith, take
yeah, it was
Helen. I
weird.
was like, what are you talking about? Like, take them. Like they were listing the whole cast, and they're like, take.
Yeah,
La la la.
these were like a couple of odd trailers, and it's funny because like the second one, the one with Mark Lester in it, it started off with kind of them going like really Mark Lester focusing on how he was this kid that like saw this murder and they kept zooming in and freezing on his face like 100 times. But then it like jumped and I thought like they almost switched movies. I thought I might have like missed something because then they're like showing like you're a part of this and it's showing all these other characters in it. And then all of a sudden he comes back, Mark Lester, and like I guess he's in the car that's driving by. It's so weird the way they've done these trailers back. I mean, that's just the way trailers are back then. You know,
Yeah,
they
they were
were
so
kind of
bizarre.
odd, but this one
Very.
especially. But anyway, I guess we got some stuff on this one,
Yeah,
right?
we got some good special features on this one. It was previously restored in 4K by Studio Canal. Has an audio commentary for And Soon the Darkness by director Robert Fuest. Is that Fuest? Robert
Voice,
Fuest
maybe?
and
I don't know.
Foist.
I
And
don't know.
co-writer, co-producer Brian Clemens, moderated by journalist Jonathan Sothcott, who is
Oh,
also a film
Sothcott.
historian, but
He
he's a
is, but not
journalist here.
today.
Not
Not
today.
today, sir. Not today.
Not
You are
today,
not a film historian.
Sothcott.
Yes.
Nice try.
Yeah.
This one also has an audio commentary for Sudden Terror by director John Howe and uncredited writer-producer Brian Forbes, also moderated by journalist Jonathan Sothcott.
Just because you're moderating twice does not equal one film historian credit.
No.
Just
We
try
do
again
have
next
some.
week.
We do
Yes.
have some legit film historians, though. We have audio commentary for And Soon the Darkness by film historian Troy Howarth.
But he's like grandfathered in, right? He doesn't get anything.
Yeah, he doesn't get it. He was grandfathered in. He's an original.
Yeah.
He's an OG
Yeah.
film historian.
Yeah.
And then an audio commentary for Sudden Terror by film historians Howard
Yeah.
S. Berger and Nathaniel Thompson.
Now Nathaniel Thompson, we already, he comes out I think once a month. I mean, he's
Yes,
pretty much
he's
there.
always
He's the
on here.
one. Yeah, he's the one that sees Statler and Wardorf when he was with Troy Howarth, and when I can't say his name. Bruce Holchek comes in. It's Tim's favorite to see. They become the Stygian witches. Howard S. Berger, he's not as like common, but so I'm gonna read his description because we haven't talked about him in a while, so we don't want either people to forget what he is or like new listeners to be like not in the know. So he's basically like the boss hog. He's a portly fellow, possible cigar, or he's possibly British, which is the opposite, not anything like boss hog. So he's all over. This was an early one though, so you could see how like obscure this guy was. I think in fact he became that because I think we forgot we did him once and combined the two.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's like the British boss hog.
Yeah, he's a British boss hog, especially. So like, he's like, by golly, gonna get those two boys, like, something like that, I guess. But anyway, he got too big for his britches, and he broke up the duo of himself and Steve Mitchell, which apparently he was a duo of at one point. He realized he was wrong and made amends and reunited with Steve, and they became film historians together. So I guess at some point Steve Mitchell will come back into the fold here. He does also, while he's, I guess film historians don't always get enough money to pay all the bills. So he opened a chain of burger joints called Burger's Burgers. And if he teams up with anyone else, he changes from Southern to British, and Burger's Burgers becomes Burger's Brew Pub. So he's all over the place.
He's got a deep lore on him.
He does. Like he needs his own I think he needs his own like one of the Where Are They Now segments on
Oh
there.
my gosh.
Actually, that's good bonus episodes we should do. If we ever need a bonus episode in there, we'll do a bonus episode of like Where Are They Now film historian kind of thing. So
this one also has theatrical trailers for And Soon the Darkness, Sudden Terror, and a movie called Eyewitness, which is not even on this disc. Radio spot for And Soon the Darkness, and a limited edition O-card slipcase. The famous O-card slipcase.
Yeah,
that's it for August 6th. That was legitimately everything released for August 6th.
Yeah, not even like anything like Steelbook re-releases or anything.
Nothing. We do have a lot of Steelbooks coming up in a little bit.
Yeah.
But, that moves us on to August 13th. And we had several releases this week. We're going to talk about three of them. The first one is from Synapse Films. They're doing a pair of these. First one up is Demons 4K from 1985. A group of people are trapped in a large West Berlin movie theater infected by ravenous demons who proceed to kill and possess the humans one by one, thereby multiplying their numbers. This is an all-time Italian classic.
Yeah, I have that two movie set that they released a couple of years ago. Oh my god, I love both these. They're so good. Something about them. They're kind of like each have their own like setting. You know, like the first one's in a movie theater and the second one's in an apartment, which we'll get to in a second. But they're both like just so well done. I don't know why. There's something about them I just enjoy. I was glad I got that set.
If you guys have not seen these are absolute classics and definitely worth picking up these 4K transfers because they have a ton of extras on them. For Demons 4K, you got a newly remastered in 4K from the original camera negative, 2 versions of the film, the full-length original cut in English and Italian, and the shorter US version featuring alternate dubbing and sound effects. New audio commentary by critics Kat Ellinger and Heather Drain, co-hosts of the Hell's Bells podcast. And audio commentary with director Lamberto Bava, SPFX artist Sergio Stiviletti, composer Claudio Simonetti, and actress Geretta. Produced by Dario Argento, a new visual essay by
Squared.
Geretta Squared, yeah. Produced by Dario Argento, a new visual essay by author and critic Michael McKenzie exploring legendary filmmaker's career as a producer. Dario's Demon Days, an interview with writer-producer Dario Argento, defining an era in music, interview with Claudio Simonetti. Splatter Spaghetti Style, interview with longtime Argento collaborator Luigi Cozzi.
Just one thing, Tim, to interrupt you. Anytime I eat spaghetti, it's always becomes splatter. By the way, because I can't eat spaghetti with any shirt.
That's Anna. She
not
can't.
Super dark.
Anna is almost 15, and she still gets spaghetti around her sauce around her mouth like a toddler. I swear, it's the meatest thing I've ever seen.
Like me. She loves spaghetti and meatballs or spaghetti and sauce so much that like she just can't like. There's something about it when I have it. I have to eat it like. I want to eat it like I'm afraid it's going to like squirm away or something. I don't know what it is.
I told her whenever she starts dating, just don't go to an Italian place because she can't do the spaghetti. Like you'll run the guy off. I mean, you should have a whole face full of sauce.
But then again, you want to be yourself on a date. You don't want her to be an impasta. Sorry, you set me up for that way too well.
Oh my god,
way too well. I know I'm a meatball. Okay, we'll move on.
Moving right along. Carnage at the Cinema, Lamberto Bava and his splatter masterpiece. Dario and the Demons, producing Monster Mayhem. Monsters Memories, Luigi Cozzi on the making of Demons. Profondo Jones, a critical perspective. Splatter Stunt Rock.
Name.
Hey, that was
like a magician too? Like Profondo Jones.
Interview with Profondo Jones. Interview with, this is another good name. Interview with Ottaviano Dell'Acqua.
Something about water? I don't know.
Yeah. Stiviletti Q&A at the 2019 UK Festival of Fantastic Films. Original Italian and English international theatrical trailers. And a US theatrical trailer. So just a packed disc. If you don't have this one, grab it. And I'll let Brian take on the sequel.
Yeah, which is pretty much a lot of the same things on there. Synapse, again, is doing Demons 2 in 4K, and that's a group of tenants and visitors are trapped in a 10-story high-rise apartment building infested with demons who proceed to hunt the dwindling humans down. This one has again, like the remastered 4K. It's got new audio commentary by film critic Travis Crawford. So you better get your degree there so you can come in there into the film historian lore. Bava to Bava.
I like that. Bava to Bava.
I know, that sounds cool. Interview with Luigi Cozzi on the history of Italian horror. Or Cozy, probably. Cozy. Creating
Cozy.
Creature Carnage. Boy, they're with the alliterations today, I'm telling you. And this disc. Interview with Sergio Stiviletti. Demonic Influence with Federico Zampaglione speaks. Wow. The Demon's Generation. Roy Bava discusses a legacy and lacerations. Literally
like that's some great alliteration there.
This is like alliteration, like masterpiece here. The new blood of Italian horror featuring Sergio Stiviletti, whose name is an alliteration. Screaming for a sequel. The Delirious Legacy of Demons 2 with Lamberto Bava. A soundtrack for Splatter. Interview with composer Simon Boswell. Together and Apart, a new visual essay on the space and technology in Demons and Demons 2 by author and critic. Oh, geez, that's an author and critic right now. Alexandra Heller Nicholas, who might appear later on again, by the way, but still not as a film historian. Original Italian and English theatrical trailers.
Very nice. The next one up we're going to talk about is from Cauldron Films, and that is Rat Man from 1988.
Not Ratma, by the way.
Not Ratma.
Rat Man.
Now, I will apologize. I feel like we've talked about this title before, so if this is a repeat, I'm sorry, but it's worth talking about again.
You
Yeah.
know, when I don't remember watching the trailer though, so it might have been something where it was like mentioned as like a bonus feature or something.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
because
It's
I don't remember this trailer at all because this trailer was kind of weird.
because
It was
sometimes
like it
sometimes
had
they'll
boobs
push
in
a
it.
disc.
Yeah,
And sometimes they'll push these discs like 2 months. And so we'll talk
yeah,
about it. And I don't remember that we talked about it 2 months ago. And then we'll say it again. But I mean, I try
yeah.
to avoid it when I can. But it's sometimes one slips through. So if it is, we apologize. But this is Ratman. A maniac butchers a fashion model on a Caribbean island and leaves the body to be eaten by rats. The model's sister suspects something isn't quite right with the police investigation and decides to go snooping on her own. With her friend Fred, their investigations lead them to an unknown part of the island where they discover a monstrosity of a rat-like man. The creature is killed by Fred, but the true horror of its nature is just beginning. And again, from 1988, this one has a 4K restoration of the film. Lighting the Rat Man, interview with cinematographer Roberto Girometti. Framing the Rat Man, interview with camera operator Federico Del Zoppo. Just a Fin, audio interview with post-production consultant Alberto De Martino. Commentary by critics Eugenio Orcolani, Troy
Oh,
Howarth, and Nathaniel Thompson, but they're all
that's
critics
like
now.
that's the Italian Stygian Witches trio, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not today because they're only critics in this.
Yeah. There's a trailer and a reversible Blu-ray wrap with alternate artwork. So those are the titles we're going to do the deep dive on. Those are the three that I thought were pretty interesting. And I'll let Brian take care of the rest of the story, basically the rest of the releases that are coming out this week.
Yeah, there's a couple of good ones in here. There's Chucky season 3. Of course, we're still hoping for Chucky season 4. That's still, if you're following Twitter, you'll see that people are still having that hashtag, renew Chucky. I think it's going to be. I think it's way too popular not to be renewed,
Although
especially when you have the whole crew and cast and want to do it. So
yeah, but all the plot, like I don't know where in the world they're going to go with it. It gets so crazy.
yeah, I haven't finished season 3 yet. So yeah, I don't. So I'll trust you on that one. But you never know. They could always just go move the setting to something else, and you never know. Chucky obviously can live forever here.
Yes.
Um, then there's the Ginger Dead Man, of course. The full moons thing. I think it's just the original though. It's not the whole box set. I think there's a
Yeah,
couple of
it's
them.
just a single release. Yeah.
Yeah. The Hangman, shifted from Cinedigm, and Cleopatra's doing Cocaine Werewolf, which I'm sure it's probably just a lesser version of Cocaine Bear, but
I almost put Cocaine Werewolf on the list to deep dive, but when I looked at the trailer, it was very micro budget, and I was like, I don't
yeah.
know. But
I mean, literally, what more can you say about something called Cocaine Werewolf? You don't know
yeah,
what you're getting with that. I mean, that's on you.
yeah. So, quick recap: we had Demons 4K, Demons 2 4K, Ratman, and Chucky season 3, Ginger Dead Man, The Hangman, Shifted, and Cocaine Werewolf. August 20th, we had only one big release and a couple of other smaller titles, but Steelbook Central, I mean, they released all their Steelbooks this week on August 20th. You have Hannibal Rising, Evil Dead from 2013, Wolf Creek, Return of the Living Dead, Beetlejuice 4K, Sinister, You're Next. A bunch of Universal monsters. Got Frankenstein 1931 and Dracula 1931. Both of those are 4K Steelbooks. Texas Chainsaw from 2013, Leatherface from 2016, and I Spit on Your Grave 2010. So if you are in the market for Steelbooks or you're a Steelbook collector, those are a ton of titles they're releasing. And those are all, I
Weird.
believe all those are Walmart
Yeah, some of them are weird
exclusives.
though. Like weirder the remake of I Spit in Your Grave just randomly is going to come out on
Yeah, I
Steelbook
know.
at Walmart. I don't know.
They must be popular because they're churning these things out. It seems like there's more and more every week. So I mean,
You know,
they must be selling.
I'm wondering if the Walmart price point is less than Best Buy's was. So they probably maybe if they buy so much, they could afford to knock them down. So people
Yeah,
are just grabbing them because they're cheap.
I keep
So
meaning
I
to
don't.
look at them. Every time I go into Walmart, I keep forgetting to go over there and just look at. I'd be curious to see what the price is on them.
You know what? There's not a Walmart
But
like that's like ever in my travels in the way, like so I could go stop. But there's a Walmart grocery near me. There's one of those, but not the. I don't know where the actual Walmart, the closest full Walmart is to me. I mean, there's like 5 Targets in about a span of 10
gosh, I don't
minutes.
know how you could. I don't. I know. I didn't know there was a city in the country that didn't have a Walmart nearby.
No,
But
there's the Walmart grocery. There is one near me. I just not sure where it is. It's not never in the path of places I
oh
go.
yeah,
Like I'd have to make an effort, like a concerted effort to go to this wall to wherever this Walmart is. I mean, I think it's probably like 15 minutes away or less.
yeah.
But I know that I
It could
know
be
that the
like
Walmart grocery is on the way because that's on one of the main roads. But I'm not sure where this. I gotta look again. It's probably it could be for all I know. It's like it's so funny as I've been here back here a year now, and like I feel like I haven't even gone like a fraction of the places I used to go. So
you could be like the
I,
Californians from SNL. You take the
it
432 to the
it is. It's like that. It's like
17.
I've like gone and I think I've gone to like back and forth to LA like way more than like I've gone like 10 minutes from where I'm living. So
Mm.
go figure. But
All right.
yeah, this one I don't understand this first title because it's only lists 5 movies. But
No, it's not 5 movies. It's the first 2 discs have 2 movies each on them.
oh, I didn't see that. I didn't
Yeah.
see it. Okay, I misread.
But yeah,
Okay,
this is Universal Studios. This is a great box set to pick up. And
yeah,
I may have to grab this one because we're going to do this as a dismemberment at some point. This is
yeah.
the
But is there another one I heard coming out? Isn't there going to be an 8th?
oh I don't. We're
I
talking
feel
about
like I
Tremors here.
yeah.
This is
Oh,
a
sorry.
Tremor.
Yeah, we're already on like past
Yeah.
it. We didn't even tell you the movie.
This is a Tremor 7 movie collection. I mean, I'm sure there's another one coming out. There's always one coming out. As long as Michael Gross has breath in his body, he will be making these, right? But yes,
You hear you AI? Do not try and recreate Michael Gross.
this was, of course, from 1990 to 2020. So 30 years of these movies they've been making.
Nuts.
Prepare yourself for a terrifying onslaught of monstrous man-eating graboids, flying ass blasters. I didn't know they were called that. And heat-seeking shriekers in this complete collection of all 7 movies in the Tremors franchise. So yeah, I mean, this is a great box set. The extras are not like crazy. It's a few for each movie. Disc 1 was Tremors and Tremors 2 Aftershocks, which includes digital copies of all the movies, the making of Tremors, outtakes, featurettes, cast profiles, theatrical trailers. Disc 2 is Tremors 3 Back to Perfection and Tremors 4 The Legend Begins. Has a spotlight on location feature. You're on the set of Tremors 4 The Legend Begins feature. Dirt Dragons featurette, deleted scenes and outtakes, miniatures production featurette, S.S. Wilson's student film recorded live, and a feature commentary with director S.S. Wilson, no relation.
I know. I was
Disc
gonna
3,
say.
Disc 3, Tremors 5 Bloodlines is deleted and extended scenes, outtakes, and Tremors 5 Behind the Bloodlines featurette.
Tim's favorite subtitle there.
Oh
Bloodlines.
yeah, Bloodlines. I didn't even realize there was a Tremors Bloodlines until I read that. Disc 4, Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell, The Making of Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell, Anatomy of a Scene Inside Chang's Market, and Disc 5 is Tremors: Shrieker Island, The Monsters of Tremors, Tremors Top 30 Moments, and The Legend of Burt Gummer. I don't think I've actually seen anything past Tremors 3. I think I
I don't
saw
remember
3.
where I left off, honestly. I mean, other than the first one, which I saw so long ago. But
Yeah,
I figured at this point, I'm just gonna wait until we do it for the dismemberment.
yeah, I'm same here.
Sorry,
And
the slaycation. Yeah.
Anna and I went to see Tremors last year in the theater, and that was fun. It was one of the
Oh,
flashback
cool.
cinema things, and that was a blast. That was so much fun. But yeah, that was obviously the first one is an absolute
Yeah.
classic. But the second, all the sequels, I think, are still fun. I mean, the ones I've seen anyway. So
It's
uh,
like one of those franchises where it's like, I mean, yeah, you're probably, you're just they could make 30 of them and then people still watch them, because it's just
yeah,
like even if it's literally the same plot point, same kind of little with a twist here and there. I think that there's certain like franchises just fall into that like a basically a level of comfort, like
like
this
Sharknado or something. I always watch a
Sharknado.
Sharknado.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could just they're silly, they're very repetitive. You never know what actor is going to show up in it, but you don't care. You just it's one of those things. Like just keep giving them to me, and I'll
yeah.
watch.
So Brian, I'll let you take the other 2 that are coming out this week.
Yeah, there's one from RLJ Entertainment, which must be a Shutter one called "You'll Never Find Me," and then Cinedigm is coming out with Creepy Pasta. So is that there's a Creepy Pasta was a movie? I thought I saw that on Screenbox or something. That
Yeah,
movie, I
it
gotta
might be.
look
I think
again.
I did too. Now that you say that, that might be the same one.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
tricky too because there's all those creepy pasta channels on
Yeah, like
YouTube
creepypasta documentaries
but
and yeah.
can I ask you? It's funny because I actually have leftover pasta for dinner, and thank God because we've been talking about spaghetti and now creepy pasta. I mean, we're now I'm hungry. It's like I need to
We had
go out and
spaghetti
get some of that.
tonight. No lie, we had spaghetti tonight.
See, what is this? What is this? Are we sponsored by like ragu today? This dismemberment.
I don't know. So anyway, yeah, so that was Trevor's obviously the big get for August 20th there. August 27th. This is our big week.
Yeah.
This is the one that had 21 releases coming out. I did decide to talk about quite a few of these because I think they're all worth grabbing. And there's one set which we'll talk about here in a second, coming from Kino Lorber, which they released. They're releasing 5 titles as part of their cult series, and we'll talk about
which are
those in a
all
second.
and those are all movies that I like. I think I saw almost everyone but one of them, which I thought I saw as a kid, but I guess I didn't see that one, unless maybe I just forgot it. I don't know. But you'll see, and there's a theme to these,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
are kind of cool. So,
but first up, we got Shout Factory. They always comes out with these great collector's editions, and this time they've come out with
just out of print, and they brought it back.
They brought
within
it
a year.
Poltergeist 2 Collector's Edition, and this one, so they've reissued this one if you couldn't get that one before, because it did go out of print. Of course, from 1986, the Freeling family settles into a new home following the annihilation of their former residence by terrifying visitors from the netherworld, but the spirits of the dead are still hell-bent on luring the family's clairvoyant daughter, Carol Ann, to the other side. I think this is a great sequel. I mean, it's not the original, but it's a fun sequel. I really like this one.
After that, it goes downhill, but
yeah, and plus you got the freaking creepy preacher guy, which might be the most creepiest.
Julian Beck. He's
one of the creepiest villains in all of cinema. So for that alone, I just love this movie. This one has a lot of, as you would expect from a Shout Factory Collector's Edition, has a lot of good extras. Has a 4K restoration from the original camera negative, audio commentary with writer-producer Michael Graves, audio commentary with webmaster of the Poltergeist fan site, David Fertney, which is cool. Restoration from the original camera negative, Robbie's return, an interview with actor Oliver Robbins, The Spirit World, an interview with special effects designers Richard Edlund, Steve Johnson, and Screaming Mad George. Ghost of Giger, a look at the I think that's how you say his name, right? Giger. A look at the contributions of artist H.R.
Giger. I don't know. It's Giger.
Yeah, Giger. I used to say Giger, but I think it's Giger. I think they.
Yeah, I know. I think everyone says Giger is the problem, and they mess this all up.
But I think I read. I don't know. You guys correct us. Send us hate mail. I don't know. Just whatever. We mispronounce names.
By the way, Screaming Mad George kept his name because Red Tim was taken. Just so you know.
Yeah,
we couldn't have Red George. So
no.
Red Tim is the one.
Featuring rare photos and illustrations and an interview with friends and agent Les Barani. They're back. The Making of Poltergeist 2, Monster Shop, Ghost Makers, The Magic of Poltergeist 2, theatrical trailer, TV spots, and still gallery. Oh, Brian, you get the good one to talk about here.
Yes, I got one that's close to our heart, which I already own. Because, if you order from Vinegar Syndrome early, you can get it before it actually gets into the mass releases, which I'm glad it's actually getting out there, too, because this one stars, of course, our good friend, Emily Sweet, and that is Vinegar Syndrome's 8 Eyes. And in case you're not familiar, even though we've had the cast on our show, we've talked about it a lot, we're going to give this as much detail as possible to make sure you get to watch this and get it. American tourists Cass and Gav are backpacking their way across the Balkans. Shortly after crashing a wedding, they run into a mysterious Slav who goes by Saint Peter. I never heard that term, a mysterious Slav.
A mysterious Slav.
I like that. I want to be known as a mysterious Slav who goes by Saint Peter, offering to take them on an authentic tour of the region. The young couple take him up on the proposal, but soon fall prey to Saint Peter's increasingly strange and manipulative behaviors, culminating with Gav's sudden disappearance. Desperate to find him and confident that St. Peter is somehow connected to this vanishing, Cass is pulled deeper and deeper into a sinister web of violence as she comes to realize St. Peter's terrifying true intentions. And of course, I hope this is Emily is so good in all her movies, but this one I hope is like her one that really just puts her everywhere on the map because the whole cast is amazing in this.
Yeah, the whole cast is great.
And just the film is so good. It's shot on 60 millimeter. It's nice and gritty. It's got that 70s kind of vibe, but mixed with some, modern kind of plot points and weirdness and cool. And basically goes on that, it really does that, Americans in a foreign land frightening aspect really well. So everyone needs to get this. And of course, you can there's 2 versions on Vinegar Syndrome's site if you want to get a limited edition with Emily's actually on the cover of that one, which is cool. And then it's got an extra slipcase, I think, and a couple extra little things, but definitely worth grabbing this, any version of this. There's a lot of special features on it. It's shot entirely on motion picture film and finished in 4K. Commentary track with co-writer, director, editor Austin Jennings, of course, who you might know from The Last Drive-In, producer Justin Martell, and co-writer, animator, sound, recordist Matt Frink. So Much to Love, an interview with actress Emily Sweet. So that's cool that she's a feature. We finally got an Emily Sweet feature on here.
That's why I got to get this Blu-ray because I want to see that.
I know. That's so exciting. We get one of the special features. We get to talk about our friend. It's an experience, an interview with actor Bradford Thomas, who we loved also on the show. And of course, you got to have the trio here. Answering Honestly, an interview with actor Bruno Veljanovsky, who of course is like hilarious in real life and as St. Peter. He's so good. I even remember they laughed at my impersonation of him. It was kind of cool on the show, which was good. Piece of History, an interview with co-producer Seeger Dixon. Doing Cowboy Shit, an interview with cinematographer Sean Dahlberg. Idea Man, an interview with co-writer, animator, sound recordist Matt Frink. A group discussion with co-writer, director, editor Austin Jennings. Oh, that's cool. Like I have to and also cinematographer Sean Dahlberg and producer Seeger Dixon. So the whole production crew is together. That's cool. Production diary, a collection behind the scenes footage, reversible sleeve artwork.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm going to go order that like probably right after we record this because I forgot to pre-order it. But
yeah,
I'll
you need to get
that one.
Of course, you need to have that in the Timolith.
Yes, the mini lith. Next up from Vinegar Syndrome, we have Reptilicus 4K from 1961. After copper miners discover part of the frozen tail of a prehistoric monster in Lapland, scientists inadvertently bring it back to life. This one, I love old monster movies like this.
Yeah, this one's cool.
This one has, and man, this is a film historian bounty here. They love this film, apparently. This one has a new 4K restoration from the original camera negative. Includes the U.S. disc debut of the alternate 95-minute Danish version of Reptilicus with newly translated English subtitles. Commentary track with film historian Nicholas Barbano and novelist and critic Kim Newman.
Yeah, so I looked him up. A lot of people don't know this, Tim, but he was a famous boxer before he became a historian. Some say Rocky Balboa was actually based on him. See the twist there, Barbano, Balboa. They had to take a couple of liberties there and change the name. I said, and his career highlight actually was his bout with champion at the time, Anthonius Creed. So,
Nice.
So I don't know if anyone knew that, but
oh well, you learn something new every day on the Civil Gore podcast. We got 50 Million Years Out of Time revisiting Reptilicus, a new retrospective featuring film historian / producer Robert Parigi,
and he's missing for some reason. His bio I was coming up with disappeared. So we'll have to circle back to him another time.
We'll have to circle back to him. Poor Robert. Yeah, he's still an intern in the film historian world.
Yeah, but he deserves a title. So you got to remind me. We're gonna come back to him next. Yeah. We'll make a thing of him because I started writing him. I think it didn't save. It's weird.
And screenwriter, film historian C. Courtney Joyner.
Now, he saved, and of course he was one that he had. He's already been here, so in case for refresher, he was the first C. Also stands for Courtney, so he was Courtney. But so he changed it to C, not to sound pretentious because of his many titles. But unbeknownst to him, the changing of the first name to initial has become a symbol of pretension. And he's easygoing and laid back, but he always stumbles into sounding something pretentious. The poor guy just can't get away from the pretentiousness.
Poor guy, yeah. Pink Goes West, Life After Reptilicus, an interview with filmmaker / historian, but he's not a film historian. He's not
a film historian. That's right.
He's a historian. Jay Jennings, and then Invincible, Indestructible, illustrator, author, and film historian. One of my favorites, Stephen R. Bissett on Reptilicus and its enduring legacy.
So just because he's your favorite, even though he's been around, I'll read him again for you, Tim. Yeah. So he created the blank audio recording vessels called Bissett tapes. He's currently still defending himself in a copyright infringement lawsuit from the Philips Corporation and Lou Audens, creator of the cassette tape. His second endeavor was the VHS Bissett tapes. Unfortunately, he got the patents. So he got the patents in just a touch too late, and he missed out on his window. Sadly, as a side note, Lou Audens passed away in March of 2021, and I don't know why we always laugh when we announce this poor man's death.
When we talk about the poor guy passing.
I know. The worst was that stuntman one. Oh my god!
Oh my god! I know we usually like ragging on the guy this whole time, and he's like,
he just like tragically. Passed. Yeah, that was.
Oh my gosh! Weird, terrible. All right. It also has promotional image gallery and reversible sleeve artwork. We're nice people in real life. I promise we don't laugh at death.
No, we don't laugh at death.
We're just, I don't know. We're just silly. As my mom would say, I'm a silly goose.
Yes, so, you are a silly goose, Tim. I will get back to everyone on with that other Robert Parigi's film historian thing. Because that's sad. I had a good one for him. Okay. Next one is it's again who does this one? Oh, Severin. Okay, here's all the Severin ones. Oh no, sorry, Severin has this one. Kino Lorber has the growth. the grouped ones. Anyway, this was Castle of Blood. This is a Paul Naschy film, I believe, right?
Ooh, is it?
a-
I like my
is
Paul Naschy.
Yeah, I think this is. It says a writer accepts a bet he cannot spend the night alone in a haunted castle on All Souls Eves. Once night falls at the castle, several who had been murdered therein return to life, reliving their deaths and seeking to kill the writer for his blood in a vain attempt to stay alive beyond that one night. Elizabeth Blackwood, one of the living dead, tries to aid his escape from the castle. I'm pretty sure I've seen this one actually, but and here's where I think it's a Paul Naschy one because it says audio commentary with Rod Barnett of Naschycast.
Yeah, they
And then
always do
for
the
some
Paul
reason
Naschys.
Civil Gore is blocking my it's like blocking the lead. It says Civil Gore podcast in there in green. I can't see it. So but basically I guess there was another commentary and it's Adrian Smith, co-author, Norman J. Warren. Oh, there it goes. Okay. He was the Rod Barnett of Naschycast and the Bloody Pit. Okay, that's I guess he's got two things he does. And Dr. Adrian Smith, co-author of Norman J. Warren, Gentleman of Terror. That's a mouthful. It's got selected scene commentary with actress Barbara Steele and Barbara Steele, archivist. She's got her own archivist.
Your own archivist. I love it.
That's when you made it. Exploring the Castle of Blood interview with Stephen Thrower, where there he's not anything. I guess
he's never
is a
been.
historian.
He hasn't been a film historian in forever.
He did. He's one of the few that went back, like he
Yeah.
cashed in or something. Maybe there's only a certain amount of film historians that could exist at any certain time, and it's like like when you overbooked on a flight and they start asking for people that'll volunteer to give up their seat. Maybe he volunteered to give up his seat. I don't know.
Or is he like a Sith Lord? There can only be so many in the universe, in the galaxy.
Yeah, it's weird, but we'll have to get in to figure that one out. Exploring the Castle of Blood interview with Stephen Thrower, an author of books on Jess Franco and Lucio Fulci. The director who didn't like blood. What kind of director is that?
I know.
The interview with Eduardo Margaretti, son of director Antonio Margaretti. So there he goes. That's you got to do that because that's the guy in Tarantino named his character after.
Yes.
And I know that's I still have not gotten proof of that, but I'm sorry. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh my God. Enigmatic Elegance. I had this way too small. I need to open it. Unveiling the Haunted Legacy of Barbara Steele in the Italian Gothic. Video essay by Rachel Nisbet, another one who's gave up her title for this time. Film critic and co-host of The Fragments of Fear. I think that's the first mention of that. That must be a podcast or show or something. We have to look for that. Return to the Castle, location featurette, and Antonio Margaretti remembers Castle of Blood and Barbara Steele trailer TV spot. You notice you guys don't see this, but I always have to do the hand gesture with that,
hand gesture,
like they do in the movie, like in Inglourious Basterds. He goes Antonio Margaretti. Yeah, he does that.
I love it.
I got to do it. Yeah.
All right, so Kino Lorber I had to highlight all of these because this is just so awesome. I love these movies. So Kino Lorber came out with what they're calling their cult series. And these are
I'm gonna have to get every one of these.
I'm gonna have to. These are all. They're not in a box set. They're all single releases.
They needed to be. Oh, this would have been a perfect Kino Lorber box set.
But they're separate titles, but they're numbered like cult number 1, cult number 2, or whatever. And they are all 70s like animal run amok features.
Yeah.
So and you'll know when you hear the titles, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
You've probably seen all these at one time or another.
First one up here from Kino Lorber is The Food of the Gods from 1976. Morgan and his friends are on a hunting trip on a remote Canadian island when they're attacked by a swarm of giant wasps. Wasps. I hate that word. Looking for help, Morgan stumbles across a barn inhabited by...
You saw this, right? It's freaky when it comes out in that thing.
I'm just laughing because I remember the first time I saw this scene, and it was just... I was like my jaw was on the floor. Stumbles across a barn inhabited by an enormous killer chicken. It is kind of scary, actually. Somehow they made it scary.
I saw this. So I was 4 years old when this came out, but I probably saw it on TV a couple of years later. So I was like 7 or 8 when I saw that. This creeped me out because I was always afraid of rats to begin with. And then when the giant rat comes in and eats that one guy and it's on top of him, it was, by now you can look at it and it looks such a cheesy effect. But picture a child watching this thing. It's terrifying.
After doing some exploring, they discover the entire island is crawling with animals that have somehow grown to giant size. The most dangerous of all of these, however, are the rats who are mobilizing to do battle with the human intruders. This is actually based on a book. I need to go read this book.
I want to read this too, yeah.
This one has a new audio commentary by film critics / authors Lee Gambin and John Harrison, author of Wildcat, the films of Marjoe Gortner. Audio commentary by writer, producer, director Bert I. Gordon. Interview with actress Belinda Balaski. 3 radio spots and 2 TV spots, theatrical trailer, and limited edition reversible art and O-card slipcase.
When I hear Belinda Balaski, I think of that Saturday Night Live skit. Remember Bill Brasky? That's that one they did. That's what it reminds me of.
Bill Brasky.
I know Tim and I can never stay off tangent. God. I swear to God,
because everything reminds me of an SNL skit or a Seinfeld episode or a song. It's just terrible. Like my brain.
Tim and I just. Yeah, we just have too many things in our brain that is floating around. So this is always a trigger.
And it's probably so old that you guys don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you probably don't even look up YouTube, Google Bill Brasky, or look on YouTube because it's worth it. Kino Lorber then next with Frogs for my birth year, 1972. Jason Crockett is an aging, grumpy, physically disabled millionaire who invites his family to his island estate for his birthday celebration. Yeah, that just sounds like a good time the way they described this man, right? Hickett Smith is a freelance photographer who is doing a pollution layout for an ecology magazine. Jason Crockett hates nature, poisoning anything that crawls on his property. On the night of his birthday, the frogs and other members of nature begin to pay Crockett. This one has a couple of cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing, I hate frogs in real life. I can't stand frogs. They creep me out. I don't like anything that jumps. I don't like grasshoppers. I don't like crickets. And I don't like frogs. And so Olivia laughs because we have tons of frogs in our backyard because of the pond. So we have frogs
and a gator.
And I can't.
You got a gator.
Yeah, and the gator's gone now.
That's a little disconcerting to me. Where is he?
Yeah.
I would not be so calm. Like Tim jokes, no, he left. I'm like, but where is he? Hanging out in your backyard? Is he down the street?
I have no idea, but he is. He said, "See you later, alligator." He was out. July 4th, he left. After July 4th was the last time we saw him, and he just left. But yeah, I was just laughing because frogs is one of the scariest things to me. So this is my equivalent of people that are scared of spiders watching a spider movie, or people afraid of clowns watching a clown movie. This is that movie for me. I hate frogs. They're disgusting. I don't like them.
Yeah,
Anyway, go with the extras
we'll
on this.
Do this one today much faster. Okay. So this one starts over the bang here with new audio commentary with film historian David Del Valle, and this is a winner here, right here, and film historian producer Dan Marino, who is not the Dan Marino you think of, but his son. So I had to dig on this one and really see what happens. Of course, David Del Valle. He looks and sounds like Frankie Avalon. Used to do the Beach Boys Station movie. Still has the Shatner hair. Got the V-necks. Have that Hasselhoff chest hair come out. He's living his best beach blanket bingo life. He's smooth with the ladies like Richard Dawson from Family Feud. He goes and gives them a kiss right on the lips, which still to this day, can you imagine this was today? I think there'd be lawsuit every episode of that show. But anyway, so I dug a little bit on Dan Marino here, Dan. Son, and he's the son of as we said before, son of the NFL Hall of Famer Dan Marino. He unfortunately had no athletic talent whatsoever. In fact, he was the only football player in history to throw 5 interceptions while only throwing 3 pass attempts. I don't even know how that happened. That's how bad he was. He had 2 additional interceptions. They were so bad. He was able to shift careers nicely after he first reviewed his dad's wooden performance in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. A quote from the review said, "While Dan Marino was guaranteed touchdown on the field, he sure fumbled this performance. The rest was history," as he moved on to film historian. However, a side note, his father hasn't spoken to him since the review and got him banned from all Miami Dolphin home games out of spite. So
nice.
You knew that was gonna. When Tim saw that, he's probably like, "Oh boy, can't wait."
I knew when I highlighted that one, it was going to be a story.
Yeah. So that's that one. It's also got an interview. In no relation whatsoever to that formal story, it's got an interview with actress Joan Van Ark, which I love that name. I don't know why, because
I've always loved her name.
Yeah, Joan Van Ark. It's just cool. It's like Raiders of the Joan Van Ark. That would have been her biography if it was up to me. I'm telling you. It's got 4 TV spots, 3 radio spots, theatrical trailer, and limited edition reversible art and O-card slipcase.
Next up from Kino Lorber, Empire of the Ants from 1977. Sleazy scam artist Joan Collins tries to sell phony real estate deals down in the Florida Everglades. What she and her unsuspecting buyers don't know is the area has been taken over by giant ants. This one has a new audio commentary by film historian David Del Valle and filmmaker historian Michael Verratti.
I have one on him. I did Del Val. We know we just did that one for him. But Michael Verratti, if you didn't know, Tim, before becoming an expert film historian, he was most known in college for being one of the best choices for that name game song, where they would go Verratti, Roddy, Bobati, Banana, Fana, Ferrati, Fee, Five, Bomati, Verratti. So yeah, so there he's.
I like that.
Maybe one of my most obscure nonsense ones yet, but
I mean, my mom used to do that all the time, so I was very familiar with that growing up.
You have a good name too. Yours is easy: Tim, Bobim, Banana, Fan.
Yeah.
It's like Brian's okay. It's only 2 syllables, but when you start getting longer, that's when it gets really challenging.
Olivia's hard to do. Like Olivia, Olivia, it gets
oh my
really
god, yeah, you're already like tongue tied on after the first Olivia, so
yeah.
But your daughter, however, though, has
Anna
the
is
ultimate
perfect.
one.
This is the ultimate Anna Fana Banana.
She's probably the number one name for that because
I think they use that in the actual song, don't they? In like the actual song that was released.
I think in the original one, yeah, it's Anna Banana Fana. Yeah, so she's like, you named her after this song. So so there you go.
I remember reading a baby book before we named her, and it said, "Just be aware that people are going to call her Anna Banana," which they did. But we named her that anyway because we like the name. But
does she like bananas though at all, or
no? I mean, no more or less than any other kid.
Because that would suck if she like literally hated bananas, because then she'd be reminded of it everywhere,
There was a cartoon called Doc McStuffins, and there was 2 stuffed monkeys on it, and one of them was named Ben, and the other one was named Anna, and they said, "We're Banana."
Oh god,
because they were monkeys. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was a stretch, but anyway. Yeah, that's how we got to Doc McStuffins from 1977's Empire.
Yeah, once again, Civil Gore finds a way to bring the most obscure thing into a horror podcast. Last week we had Roy Orbison, and now we got Doc McStuffins, which I'm still not sure what that is.
Count your blessings. You didn't have to watch it. Audio commentary by producer-director Bert I. Gordon, radio spot, national trailer, and limited edition reversible art and O-card slipcase.
I assume it's a children's title, right? Doc McStuffins?
Yeah, it was like CGI cartoon, and it was about this. It was this little girl that wanted to be a doctor. I think her parents were doctors, but
it's a female.
Yeah.
Oh, because I was saying if it was a male, that's like a porn name. You realize that, right?
No, definitely not. This is definitely a kid's.
Yeah,
but she did. She would do the play doctor with the stuffed animals, but they would come to life for her. She just couldn't let her parents know that they were alive.
It's kind of a cute little.
It was really. It was
into some sordid porn movie.
No.
Yeah,
it was pretty cute. It was actually one of the lesser annoying children's shows that I used to watch. Constantly.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of got that Toy Story like little twist to it. Like
I liked it.
Come alive, and
I thought it was
Dr. Dolittle, little twist on it. Yeah, I like
my favorite was Sophia the First. That's my all-time favorite. Like that and Backyardigans. Those were my 2. You guys that have kids, you know what I'm talking about. You know where it's at. Anyway.
Actually, I know those 2 for some reason through my niece and nephews and
Backyardigans.
Friends with
great
kids. So that one I know.
Yeah, great music.
Yeah. What's that other one? Not to go back to bananas again, but wasn't the Bananas in Pajamas? Which
I never watched that one. Yeah,
which that bothered me because they forced that rhyme in so badly. Because most people say pajamas, not pajamas, even though they'll say jammies, and then bananas and pajamas. Like I'm like, you're forcing that one. Just give up. Try something
just
else.
Stop.
Just enough. Anyway, the next one we're moving on to this one, the final one, which is Squirm, which is the one I thought I saw, but I think I might have got it confused with that one, like or something.
Oh, yeah, there's a snake one called.
Yeah, and it was like pronounced hiss. That's the one I think I saw, and I think I always thought it was this. So now I've missed out on Squirm, and I need to go back and watch this. Anyway. This one is at the beginning of the film. We learn from one of the characters. Why is it starting like that? Why do I get the weird ones? At the beginning of the film, we learn from one of the characters that earthworms can be called to the surface with electricity, but somehow it turns them into vicious flesh eaters. Sure enough, a storm that night causes some power lines to break and touch the ground, drawing millions of man-eating worms out of the earth into a town where they quickly start munching on the locals. That was good. It's got this one's got audio commentary by now they're just back to critics and authors, Lee Gambin and John Harrison. So they went back for some reason. They're not wild and crazy guys because They only got that
Not
when the historian came. I think right
yeah.
now, it's there's critics and authors. They're just like, like mildly entertaining fellows.
Yes.
It's got an audio commentary by writer-director Jeff Lieberman, Digging In, The Making of Squirm documentary with Jeff Lieberman, actor Don Scardino, and special effects artist Bill Milling. Eureka, a tour of locations with Jeff Lieberman. Boy, he's doing lots of extra work on this disc. TV and radio spot theatrical trailer, and once again, in case you've never heard of this, the limited edition reversible art and O-card slipcase.
Like, who uses that reversible art? I don't get it. Okay, whatever.
Like, yeah, like it's bad enough. Like, you especially it's like a nightmarish thing already to when you file like a thing like a monolith and you file it together. Who's gonna just go? It reminds me of like the like that scene in 40-Year-Old Virgin. Remember, he's like, "Today I will paint your uniform blue." Like, I can't imagine you just taking out your disc and like, aha. It's been sitting on my shelf this way for so long. I'm going to reverse it and fool everybody.
It's like you don't even see the cover. Most people, you don't even see the cover when you've got it on the shelf anyway.
Although, did you see that thing I sent you, Tim, this morning, where it's a special like now playing
that's
thing
cool.
for your vinyl thing? I thought of you right away.
Cool.
I'm like, okay, that's it. Like,
yeah,
you have one of those,
that
for your video
cool.
that some people have. Yeah, that makes sense. But
next, this is the final one. Kino Lorber, Kingdom of the Spiders from 1977. Well, this one has William Shatner, so
yeah,
William Shatner stars.
Yeah, but did you see in the trailer? He does it. Goes, why would spiders turn aggressive? He's like in Captain Kirk mode in this.
I know. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I can't do a good William Shatner, so I'm not going to try. William Shatner stars as veterinarian Rack Hansen in this cult classic about an Arizona town infested with a horde of arachnids.
That's the best name ever, Rack Hansen. That sounds like a guy that just builds shelves. That
sounds like a porn name too.
You need a shelf? We need to call Rack Hansen.
About an Arizona town infested with a horde of arachnids that turn on the humans whose insecticides have depleted their natural food supply. After livestock belonging to Rack's friend, rancher Walter Colby, fall victim to a spider attack, entomologist Diane Ashley arrives and tries to help Rack deal with the crisis. With the big county fair fest approaching, Mayor Connors refuses to let them quarantine Colby's ranch.
Again, another mayor
freaking
makes the wrong decision. And you wonder, and I love when people like, when they talk about like real life politicians making bad decisions, I'm like, well, the precedent is there in film. I mean,
yes, I mean,
you always see these things like literally, and like I always love that one when they say like you make a thing. Well, the mayor in Jaws 1 is the same mayor in Jaws 2. Think about that after he's just had his whole town killed, by like shark. Yeah. Well, actually, wasn't that many people, but still, one is too many. It's like,
yeah. But, soon, the remaining residents of the town must barricade themselves to stave off the 8-legged invaders in the ultimate man versus spider showdown. New audio commentary by author, film historian Lee Gambin, which I think he's back to film historian for this movie.
Yeah, he's back again. I don't understand, but we didn't mention him before, so he's like, he's when he's alone, he becomes Eeyore. But if he's team with John Harrison, they become two wild and crazy guys. They come as a pair. And always in wacky costumes and outfits. They put the fun in film historian, which makes no sense. I don't know why we thought that was a good rhyme, but I don't know where we thought that was working. But anyway.
Audio commentary by director John Bud Cardos, producer Ego Cantor, Spider Wrangler Jim Brockett. Spider Wrangler Jim Brockett. Is that not the best thing ever?
That sounds like like either a movie or a Saturday Night Live sketch, right?
He had to have made that up. He was not
Jim Brockett.
There was no way he was born named Jim Brockett and became a Spider Wrangler. No way.
No, it couldn't be. I mean,
cinematographer John Morrill, moderated by Lee Christian and Scott Spiegel. Audio commentary producer Ego Cantor, actress Tiffany Bowling, moderated by Mark Edward Hook. Interview with actress Tiffany.
Wait a minute.
Hoik.
He was the first. They give it all the Hook too, girl. This guy was the one. She got it. She stole his gig. Damn. Well, we need to expose her now because she's not the original.
Okay. Mark Edward Hook Tua. Interview with actress Tiffany Bowling. Interview with writer Steve Lodge. Radio spot, theatrical trailer, and if you did not get it in the first 4 titles, a limited edition reversible art and O-card slipcase.
By the way, I did when I was just in Vegas on my trip, Tim, you would have been proud of me. I did such a good pun that no one really quite caught on. But we were at the blackjack table. I wasn't playing at this point. My friend were playing. I was sitting out at this point. I was so tired. I'm like, I'm going to make a bad decision here. So I purposely didn't. But when he got a pair of, I think he got whatever he got a pair of, it's one of those things where you're supposed to split. I said, you got a Hook 2 and split that thing. But but nobody caught it. And I was so
Oh
disappointed. I'm
man,
like,
that's
where's
great.
Tim when you need him? I said, you gotta think about it. Huck 2 split on that thing. I thought that was great. Yeah, whatever. See, this is why I'm not
I
a
would have
millionaire like this
see.
girl. Because
That's why we have to go to Vegas together, is because we have to. I mean,
oh
we'll be
yeah,
there to egg each other on.
I'm
So
telling you, for the listeners, that is in the works. A trip to Vegas for us and a little horror group here. And I will say, if we do that, we need to do some kind of live recording there. And I know we promised the content, but we need to force ourselves to do as much as possible. You know.
oh, and it got even better because my aunt volunteered. Like she said, if it happens while the kids are in school, which I don't know when trip's going to be. This is just
Yeah.
spitballing here, but if it does happen to happen when the kids are in school, my aunt's going to like come over and like make sure they get to school and everything. Like she said, I'm going to take care of everything. Like go
Oh,
on your trip,
nice.
have fun. So
Yeah,
we
I
have
may
all
have
that
to do
covered.
a little bonus episode. Maybe I'll just record something so we can throw it out there like a little mini-sode of my Vegas trip because I'm gonna post a video. I did that the Slotzilla, which is like that zip line, but they set you up like Superman. So you go flying out, and
Oh,
basically it's like you come out of from the viewer spot, from where you're inside, you're just in something you don't realize. But from the viewer's point on Fremont Street, you like basically this giant slot machine lich opens up and you go flying out of it. So
oh,
it's
that's
really cool.
cool.
Yes, I have, and we bought my friend and I, the only two that did it. My friend Steve and I were the only ones that were brave enough to do this. We, we did, we got the video package so you can see first a little bit of my face reaction coming out of there, and then I turned the camera so you can see the view I have. So, and I have some stills, so I'll make sure I post that when I get a chance because that was really
Oh, that's
cool. And I
cool.
also want to talk about we did the sphere, the big Vegas
Oh
sphere
yes,
thing.
I definitely want to do that.
Which so I do want to discuss that, but I don't want to put it in the summer's vacation. So maybe we'll maybe we'll do a mini-sode, record a mini-sode when we record our next episode, just to kind of throw that in there as like a little bonus for you.
Nice. So that was all the features we were going to really cover deep dive this week, but we do have several titles that were also released that we'll, yeah, I'll let you list those off, Brian.
Yeah, so the rest are DeGosser Video's Blood Cult from '85, VS Schiffest, and I said it that way because that's the way it's written. It makes Lost Prophet. So I don't know what production company that is, but I want to see their other titles there. And that one's from '92. Dark Star Pictures does Nightcaller from 2022. VCI does Hillbillies in a Haunted House, which wasn't that qualified for the Triple H, I believe.
Yes, I watched it for the horror movie challenge last year.
Yeah, for the horror movie challenge. So it's oddly that comes back to haunt us here. No pun intended there. 1967. Saturn's Core is doing Living a Zombie Dream and Kitty Killers. I assume that's a double feature from 1996. Yellow Veil Pictures, She's Allergic to Cats. It's funny that came right after that. I'm not feline on that one. 2016 does that one. And all I can think of now is Be My Cat.
I know. But I saw that title.
Anne is going to like me. Anne Hathaway, I'm going to guide you. We got to review that film one time in its entirety.
It's such a crazy film. You guys got to see
that guy. Was it David that McHugh tried to get that guy on our show for us?
Yes. Yeah.
Which Tim's afraid of.
I'm kind of afraid of him.
Yeah, Magnolia Pictures is doing What You Wish For from 2023. Dark Arts Entertainment, Terra Firma from 2024. Arrow is releasing The Woman 4K and The Offspring 4K in a box set. That's weird because wasn't The Woman had its own 2 other movies follow up, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know, that's a double feature.
I'm not sure what that is. I don't even know how to say this one. Arrow releasing Memento Mori, the Jorg Buttergreit collection, or it's probably
I think it's Bootgreit.
Bootgreit. Where's Ken? See, we needed Ken.
This was a German. This was a German director.
Yeah. Oh, but this is a cool box set. It's got Necromantic, Der Todesking, Necromantic 2, and Shram.
Yeah,
I don't know what Shram means. I gotta talk to Ken on that one.
Der Todesking to me, I think is Death, the King of Death, maybe.
Oh yeah, that sounds German. Yeah. What is what's Shram?
I don't know what Shram is. I don't know what that is. So I'll ask Ken about that.
They didn't give you're not that at the Duolingo.
But Duolingo hasn't taught me the.
You haven't gone to obscure German cinema yet. Yeah, you need to You need to skip ahead to obscure German cinema
Well,
in your
it did
Duolingo.
did teach me horror film, which is literally
Oh,
horror movie is horror film, that was an
nice.
easy one. That was an easy
There
one.
you go. Yeah. And then this Vinegar Syndrome's back with a Chinese torture chamber story 1 and 2. They didn't learn from the first one. They're back
No.
into it's two torture, two chamber. No, 90s Hong Kong action horror. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. And then there's The Watchers finally in 4K from 2024.
Yeah, that one just came out at the theaters not too long ago. So,
Yeah, I'm surprised.
but
I like this new format. I think what I may do just to make it easier to read on my iPad, if you don't mind, Tim, I may tweak the form a little bit.
oh, definitely,
I'll set
yeah,
you up a
whatever you
blank
need.
form that'll be easy for you to just pop stuff in.
Yeah, do
And
it.
then that way we'll go from there. But I do like this shorter format because I think we could spend a little more time with and not feel like pressured to
Yeah, because
still have
I
fun
tell
with some
you, the
titles.
number of titles we had to do this week would probably have taken us 2 hours instead of an hour,
Yeah. And
and
look, we're
that's a
right
lot.
about on an hour, which is the
Yeah.
perfect length of these dismemberments, I think,
Yeah.
if
So
or to
so
shoot
yeah,
for.
hope
So
you guys like that. I don't honestly I don't think you're missing a lot of us. I mean, look, would you have enjoyed us reading every feature for like 12 titles and half of them don't even have features? I mean, I don't think it's worth it. I think
well,
going on a deep dive of the ones that are really cool are the ones that you guys want
yeah.
to hear about anyway.
Well, plus it also saved the embarrassment for Tim of having to get those titles sometimes we can't pronounce the names, and it's
Yeah,
just, it's
exactly.
hard on the man, okay? He's my friend. I want to take care of him. I don't want him to suffer through these things.
No, but anyway, you guys, this week definitely, I would say, I know we haven't done it, we didn't really do picks of the week because what we're talking about kind of are our picks of the week,
Yeah.
plural, but definitely grab Eight Eyes. That's a fantastic movie that
Yes.
you finally are able to see, which for so long you weren't able to see as we were singing its praises. And
Yes.
definitely those Kino Lorber cult
Oh God,
animal movies, all 5 of those are just worth having. Those are really
yeah.
cool.
I mean, I basically had budgeted a lot of money for Vegas this trip to gamble with, and I did ended up like doing a lot of sports betting, so I basically came back with the same. I basically broke even, give or take $20. I might have been up. So even when I played blackjack, I went all the way down to just come all the way back up and even out. I was like, yeah, they called me Even Steven. It was like the Seinfeld one. See, we had to get Seinfeld in there.
Had to get
Um,
Seinfeld in there.
Yeah, so it's like now I have not that I want to just blow it right away, but I think I'm gonna take some of that money that might have been sitting in a Vegas casino pocket and spend it on some Kino Lorber discs. I think that might be a
Yeah.
nice trade-off. That
Yeah,
is not
those
a
are
gamble,
cool.
I will say. That is a
No,
guaranteed win.
Kino
So,
Lorber makes fantastic discs.
oh,
So yeah,
I
definitely
love
check
it.
this out.
You know what? Between them, Kino Lorber, Vinegar Syndrome, Severin, and Arrow, I'm so glad there's not one but 4 strong companies that are still like treat physical media with the respect it deserves and comes with like these great special. It basically brings you the love of when these DVDs and Laserdiscs first came out because with VHS you couldn't get all that. So when they
Yeah,
moved to that
exactly.
digital format, and especially Laserdisc started, then to DVDs and Blu-rays, where like you were able to pack all these extra features on there and commentaries. Yes, VHS had the commentaries. But remember the first VHS commentaries you would get? It would basically be an extra tape you'd have to
Yeah.
put in. So I mean, I love that there's still so much love for physical media, and it's only getting better, I think. And these companies, so that actually would make a great interview at some point. I would love to get someone on. I bet you we can get someone from Vinegar Syndrome because they seem to be really cool and they own a store.
Yeah,
So
that would
there's
be
actually,
cool.
I would
Yeah.
love to get someone on from one of these companies that release physical media and just find out a little bit about their process, and like what is it are they big fans of it and that's why themselves and that's why they push so much of it, or are they just kind of answering to the fans requests out there? But either way, we need I would love to talk to someone from one of those big companies.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
Oh, and Shout Factory too. I almost forgot them,
Yeah,
and there's
Shout Factory is huge. Yeah.
5.
So guys, we will see you back here next week. I'm trying to figure out when this one's landing, but obviously we're in the middle of our summer vacation, so we're gonna have some more some of that coming your way, and I guess we'll continue with this format unless we hear otherwise for September, which September you're going to start seeing a lot of big,
Yeah,
massive
yeah.
floods and releases. So I think this format came just in time to get us through the big release waves that are getting ready to hit
Yeah.
us.
And remember, we've talked about this last time too. This format's going to improve because basically we're going to take this. It's going to be in flux for probably a couple of months till we eventually get to the point where we wanted, where it's going to be a video version of it, possibly even maybe live at some point, or also more so like we want to be able to incorporate the trailers in it and especially do a real video presentation of this one.
Yeah, that
So I
would be
think that'll
so
be
much fun.
like I
Because
should have grabbed my 8 eyes disc and showed it, but I didn't because we weren't really
yeah,
doing a video format.
but yeah, that would be cool. And that way we could laugh at the trailers together because
Yeah, I think that'll be fun, especially if we
uh,
end up we got it. I would love to do a live dismemberment. I think that
yeah.
would be fun because then we
Now
could
I
join
will
in
say
and
with the
chat.
video dismemberments, we'd probably have to like chop it down pretty lean in terms of
Yeah.
what we covered, but I think it would. I think it would be worth it. I think it would still be so much more fun.
Oh yeah.
But,
Oh, totally be fun.
all right, guys, we'll see you back here soon.
See y'all.